God's Guns.
My Guns and My Religion.
Yeah, My Guns and My Religion. He actually has a pretty decent YouTube channel, and he totally debunked the Joe Biden just fire 2 blasts shotgun. So be sure to check him out on YouTube, because you'll get a kick out of him. So, Pastor George.
You just heard my wife. She's carrying her rape whistle today. It's the first time she ever open carried anywhere, so let's give her a hand for that. There's nothing sexier than a 57-year-old woman with tattoos and a .357 Magnum. Oh, come on, you can do better than that. Now, every time I speak at a pro-gun rally, I, like most people, focus on the rights proclaimed in the Second Amendment. The right to a well-regulated militia, and the right to keep and bear arms. We know that these rights were put into place to protect us against a tyrannical government and not to protect our ability to go hunting or to go target shooting. But I got to thinking, just what were these tyrannical acts that our forefathers were talking about? Can we gather any guidance as to what to look for from our forefathers? And the answer is yes. And we need only to look to another document, the Declaration of Independence, and to recite it back every time the left-wing gun grabbers call us alarmists or extremists.
Don't know any of them.
Now, since the Declaration of Independence says that these rights were endowed by our Creator, that is to say, God, I feel as a pastor that I am uniquely qualified to speak on them. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Amen. That's right.
Let me first quote this. Governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. And I just want to say that the man occupying the White House, who may or may not actually be an American citizen, who appears to be elected by people who find no problem in voting for him 3, 4, 6 times, and who attends state dinners with an official food taster, does not have the consent of this governed person to abolish any part of the Constitution. And that goes doubly for his half-witted sidekick that fills the vice presidential office. Now let's take a look at some of the things that the 1776 Patriots had a problem with as listed in the Declaration of Independence. Speaking of their tyrant in that day, he has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, distant from the depository of their public records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. So, okay, in Washington, a place unusual at best, on January 16th, our king gathered a whole bunch of school kids around him and passed 23 executive orders that would affect gun owners in every state of the union. Hey, no voting necessary. No state rights allowed in a monarchy. The Declaration of Independence says about King George, he has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. Now, has anyone ever actually taken a look at the infrastructure and the bureaucracy that is going to be involved with, and I hate to say this, Obamacare? In 3 years, your free health care is going to cost you thousands of dollars if you don't want it. But don't worry, I am sure that there is a jail cell waiting for you if you don't pay your fine. Brought to you by our friends at FEMA. He is kept among us in times of peace, standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about the Department of Homeland Security for a moment, can't we? I mean, why do they need all that ammunition? And
They won't tell you that.
and tanks? Is there a reason why we need tanks on the city streets of America? He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to the civil power. You know what, getting back to Department of Homeland Security. Does anyone know, did you check Facebook and stuff this morning? Did Janet Napolitano actually answer any of the questions that I just asked regarding the DHS? Isn't that the same thing? He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts of pretend legislation. Now I've got 2 letters for you. UN. We are all set to bow our constitutional rights down before them and the arms treaty that Obama is just dying to have them pass. Why worry about a vote in Congress when you can have the one world government do it for you? For depriving us in many cases the benefits of trial by jury. Did I mention the NDAA yet? How about Guantanamo Bay?
Well, that's supposed to be closed, Pastor George.
Oh, but it wasn't. Or how about the occasional, rare drone strike called down on American citizens? I mean, why waste money on a trial when we can just rain down death from above? I invite you to actually read the Declaration of Independence. The fact is that the very things that the patriots of 1776 were angry about should be the same things that the patriots of 2013 are angry about, because they are happening again right now. It's deja vu all over again. For heaven's sakes, no one really wants a civil war in America. I'm looking out over a handful of serious, hardcore patriots. And yet, just as in 1776, our king, named Obama, has excited domestic insurrections against us. And he has done so by trashing the Constitution, the amendments, and even the Declaration of Independence underfoot as if they were garbage. I'm sorry, friends, there's too much blood from too many patriots on those documents to be let them simply thrown away as if it was yesterday's trash. So let the tyrant-in-chief and all of his cronies, his lackeys, his political stooges, we want you to know this. we are not going away. We will vote you out of office. We will not give up our heritage. We will not give up our freedoms. We will not give up our guns. And if you want them, we say, Mullen Labe, come and get them. And because it's Patrick Henry Day, and we're all aware of the famous quote that he said, give me liberty or give me death, I'm going to give you one more quote that he had regarding a possible allegiance between the newly formed American states and England. And he said, I think I smell a rat.